program on Living Television about Southeast Nigeria issues of the moment. My name is Chimezie Ozebs. According to Section 94(1) of the Electoral Act 2022, political campaigns are scheduled to commence on the 28th of last month. Considering the numerous challenges facing Nigeria as a developing nation, what will political parties and their candidates tell Nigerians when they mount the soapbox? Are we going to have issue-based campaign, or will they engage in campaign of calumny? To discuss this very issue with me are Sir Moses Obonna and Professor Chinedum Adele. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Let me start with you, Sir Moses Obonna. Electioneering has officially commenced according to the Electoral Act. What should we expect? Apart from being a lawyer, you are also a politician and a media entrepreneur.
Nigerians are tired of promises. In the past, all we have been witnessing have been, I will water you, I will fire you, I will let heaven come down on earth. Within 6 months, security will be a thing of the past. I don't think that is what Nigerians expect. What question is no longer our problem. It should be the how question. How? The economy has been battered. People are almost fed up of being Nigerians. If you can come on the street and ask people to denounce being members of this country, you see that 90% of Nigerians will denounce.
Even 99%?
Okay, that they are no longer, because there is no hope. The promises have been the same. We'll give you nylon tag, give you express everywhere, even the Oboro in your village will become express.
AC in your toilets.
Yes. Salaries will be paid as at Monday. In fact, paid in advance. The problem is, if we look at the economy and look at the promises we are likely to witness during the election, it appears that people are now aware that the promises that the something Kwame Nkrumah said, thinking and doing are two different things. What you say you will do and what you actually do are two polar areas. So Nigerians are expecting you to come out and tell us the economy is bad, people are suffering. How are you going to repair the economy? That is what we expect from politicians during the election.
Thank you very much, Sir Moses Obonna. Professor Adele, you are a keen watcher of events in Nigeria. You saw what happened in 2015. A certain political party promised everything. In fact, the only thing they did not promise Nigerians was to raise the dead. And it also appeared that there is going to be a repetition of what happened in 2015 and even 2019. They have started promising regular power supply. So, Sir Moses Obonna raised a very important issue. Don't you think that politicians should tell us how they are going to address the various issues, the various challenges confronting Nigeria? Is that happening?
Well, that is what it should be in an ideal society. But we are not talking about promising us or telling us how they are going to address the issues, whether security, economy, and so on. That is not the issue, because any person can talk about that. Any person can also promise how he's going to do it. But I think we should rather look inwards and also look at their pedigree, the antecedents. Those of them who are coming out, who will be talking about what they'll be doing. Because just like St. Moses mentioned, in 2015, so many of us thought what happened in 1983 was going to repeat itself. And then all of us followed and said we wanted a change. But the mistake we made, nobody asked the type of change that the incoming administration was going to, effect. And then, actually, he has fulfilled all his campaign promises. We have a change in Nigeria. But that change, is it for good or for bad? In fact, I tell people, Buhari has done his best. He promised a change, and there is a change. Dollar changed. Bags of rice from 7,500 to 35,000 naira. The pump price of fuel also changed. His campaign promises has fulfilled all of them. And when you say they never promised that the dead will rise again, they did all that. Because when they tell you that the economy is going to change and students will be paid a salary and there will be employment here and there, it's as good as resurrecting the dead. So there is no kind of promises we've not heard. So what we are talking about is addressing these issues, like you mentioned, one after the other. How are you going to handle them? What is your template on ground on how to make sure that these things are tackled and handled? And from where are you coming from? From where you are coming from, we can as well determine where you are going to and how you are going to balance and settle in where you are going to. Now, there is none of them who are coming out, who are contesting that has not held one public office or the other. How did they fare when they were in these public offices? So it is important. That is why it is important to note that it takes a copious knowledge of the past to shape the future. You must know history. You must have your history for future to be corrected and looked at. So I think this time around, INEC, I don't want to blame them for any reason for now, but I think they should be very, very careful right now, because in 2015 and in 2019, there were a lot of accusing fingers on INEC. I think this time they had to sit up, and they have done so well, including the Federal House by enacting a law, the new electoral law. Now it is for them to follow it to the letter and make sure when you talk about hacking, it's not possible to rig. Who told you? If a person, a young man, can hack into your account, make withdrawals from your money with this same system we are talking about, what is impossible? So the idea of rigging, nobody has ruled it out. It all depends on INEC. How serious are they? What is the security put in place to ensure that these digital voting? There was a suggestion Samuel made sometime in one of our discussions. I'm sure he said he made that same suggestion to INEC, allowing people to even vote online and so on. And that is the only way. But if you're talking about the usual way, there is whether it's a rumor or not, there's something we're hearing about Imo State and the court and stuff like that. If these things are taking place, then that means 2023 we are not yet ready to take our destinies in our hand. That is what Obasanjo advised. He said, if we don't take our destinies in our hand by voting the right leaders, that will either make or separate Nigeria. So, and this is the time. The INEC had to sit up. And then whosoever is coming up, I thank God for what is happening. I thank God this is the first time Nigeria is going to have it this way. People without receiving a dime from a candidate, running around, doing rallies for him on his behalf, even when he's not there.
Free of charge.
Free of charge. Using their own money, hard-earned money. That is to say, we've been on the defense for quite a long time. This is the time to sit up. And I'm also sure it's not just about sitting up. And I'm sure that most of them who are running around all this, the running will be in vain if you don't have your PVC. It is very, very important. You must have your PVC. And then we look inwards. Who are we voting for? What are the antecedents? What is their pedigree? And why must we vote for them? Where are they coming from? I think these three cardinal points would help us.
Thank you, Professor Ajele, for that. If you are supporting a particular candidate and you don't have your permanent voter's card, it's like you are wasting time and money. Now, Moses, over to you. Why is it that Nigerians are not interested in knowing the past of those seeking their mandate? Is it because of poverty? Is it because of a high level of illiteracy? Is it ignorance?
Yeah, before now, people have not really thought that politics, voting, is a liberation of one's self-condition. They thought it is a political game, and those who are voted for are the people who benefit. Therefore, if you give them money, they vote for you. But the Nigerians have been pushed to the wall. The youths have been pushed to the wall. In one of the prophecies that T.B. Joshua made, he says, it's going to be like a revolution. He says the youths should be taken care of. Otherwise, there will be a revolution. You see, like what the Prophet said, who are you? Who were you yesterday? You are now eating banana at the junction. Spreading the banana to people who cares to come and eat. Where did you block the banana? How did you get the banana you are sharing? We will look beyond whom you are, the banana you are sharing or the banana you promise you will share. How did you get it acquired? If you say you were a banker, who were you in the bank? What are your antecedents? If you are a professor, where have you worked? What did you do there? In a microscope. When the scope is so micro and you performed, the Bible says, he who is trustworthy in a very little thing will also be trustworthy in a big thing. That little thing that has been given to you, what did you use it for? How did you manage it? So that when we begin to think of giving you the big thing, you will not manage it recklessly. I want to assure you that it will be nothing like a party this time. People preaching party are people who have not realized their suffering. That it is because of this party thing that the people in Nigeria are suffering. APC 5/5, PDP 5/5, Labour 5/5. Who told you? So because you are in a particular party, because of another good man who is in that same party, we now vote you. No, we will look at whom you are. Will you be able to see Nigeria separate from your own particular interest, separate from the interest of your tribe, separate from the interest of your party? Have you positioned Nigeria and all Nigerians into the vehicle called Nigeria and begin to look at their interest and take care of it? It is only that kind of person that we will be prepared to vote for. If one is found in APC, we will vote for him. If the other is found contesting for another level of position and he is in PDP, we will vote for you. It is not because you are PDP or APC or whatever party. Therefore, every other person in that party, we will vote for you. Nigeria of today, we are no longer interested. So if you are coming to talk to us, don't because you are in that party and say you must vote for me, I'm in the party. If I come and give you fire, our party manifesto says we must fire everywhere, water everywhere, build a road. Therefore, that is what we will do. Have you been in a position before? At that position you were, The water borehole you are supposed to drill, were you able to drill it? The free medical service you are supposed to give to your community, were you able to give it? You are now giving it because election is coming. In 2023 election, while the campaign is going on, we expect you to tell us whom you are, so that we will be able to know whether if we give you the mantle you are looking for, you will be able to handle it.
Okay, thank you for that wonderful explanation. Look at what our INEC chairman said, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. He said, and I quote, "As campaigns commence, we appeal to political parties and candidates to focus on issue-based campaigns. This is the best way to complement our efforts to ensure transparent elections in which only the vote cast by citizens determine the winner." End of quote. With what he said, it does appear that INEC is also worried about the nature of our political campaigns. Professor Adele.
Yes, before now, it has been a campaign of calumny, and that is not what we are expecting. You are not supposed to attack any individual. When we talk about issue-based, we have a lot of problems in this country. There are so many unsettled issues in this country, and that is what we expect. Don't tell us how the other person is a bastard, and the mother was a harlot somewhere, and the father was a pauper somewhere. And that is not what we're looking at. We are looking at the person that has presented himself for the position he is looking for. Before now, that person that is talking about position, the one or two little things has been, entrusted with. How did he go about it? What happened with it? Are there people who can testify to that effect? Are they really examples? Were these things left? Did he leave anything in the footprint of life as a sort of legacy? What is he known for from where he is coming from? I think that is what INEC is talking about. We are not going to look at individuals, quarrel them for who they are and for whatever reason. After all, we are not going to talk about whether you are the greatest or most learned person or whatever. No. But what are you supposed to do? That is exactly how it's going to work. Because before now, the idea of my party manifesto and party ideology and so on has failed us. Because the founders of such political parties may have come together, had good plans, and then will hand over these plans to one man who has no regards for those ideologies. And the moment he's sworn in here, and because of hunger, every other person dances to it. A one-time governor of this state once said he cannot empower his enemy. That was a very derogatory statement. Who is the person's enemy? And the money we are talking about is not your father's money, nor your mother's money. It is money owned by the state, owned by the nation.
Including the enemy.
Including the enemy. It's part of that money. So why would you come in because you're elected? You now want to tell us who is your enemy. Party has helped to kill this country. Why do I say so? If APC is in power, you discover that there will be no PDP, no matter how intelligent that person is, who is supposed to manage the finances of the country. Nobody will bring him in. You would rather prefer a man who has no idea, but because you call it a political compensation, you want to compensate him for shouting for you. In Abia State, it is everywhere. If you look at the formation of Abia State government, you won't see any other political party person, except those who after the party, they now decide to become praise singers, and they are brought in. No governor has ever called in the state chairman of Abga and said, please give us one person. Look at the quality and caliber of person we are looking for. And we want to build a unity government. Give us one person. That is what leadership is all about. And when you are talking about handling the leadership of a state, it must be all inclusive. It is not a political party affair. The name is a mere sociological identification that has nothing to do with the real name. Political party is a combination of alphabets. It has nothing to do with individuals. So that is why it should be issue-based. And we must look inwards. we must look inward. It is very, very important that we look inward. Who are we voting? It is not about party. Party A can vote for a person in Party B because he thinks he can do better there in that position he's looking for. Then Party C can also vote for Party Z because the person there contesting, whether he's senator or governor or whatever, he knows he can do better. And that is the only way we'll get it right this time. It is not all about I am in Party A or I am in Party B. It won't work. It has never helped us and it won't help us. And thank God, Nigerians are up to do the right thing.
Okay, thank you. Now, Sir Moses Ogbonna, in the course of our conversation, you said that 2023 election will not be about party, but on the performance of an individual, of a candidate. Now, what do you think Nigerians should do to ensure that next year's election is not about ethnicity, it's not about religion, but will be about competence and how efficient a candidate is?
You see, P2B is going around the world explaining whom he is. He has never pointed at any others. Whom he is, what he has done. And that explains the popularity he is gaining. Because people now appear to understand whom he is and begin to assess whether he has the capacity to do those things he said he will do. If you're a candidate and you relax in your house, believing because you are in Party A that is very popular, or you are from one particular tribe that is so powerful, you have money and you are party men and you are tribesmen have money to influence voters. It will no longer work this time. This is the time for you to come out to tell Nigerians, yes, I've been so person. During the time I was this, what I wear, I was able to do this, I was able to do that. Certain situation came, I was able to manage it, I was able to be selfless. I wasn't a tribe man. My friends are so person, I built to them, they are not from my tribe. So that we know that our problems that has kept this country the way it is not from you. If you fail to do that, let me tell you, we have Fulanis in power. And people are saying Fulani. Fulanis are in power. In fact, nearly all the positions in Nigeria are being held by Fulanis. Has that made all the Fulanis rich? No. Where do we have the poorest people?
It's in the north.
It's in the north. But if you do not drum these things into the brain of the Fulanis, and you come out to say, Fulanis must continue ruling. This is our country. We must hold it. And I'm a Fulani. And I'm hungry. Not only that I'm hungry, the whole of my people are hungry. Where has being a Fulani man benefited me? The position I am as a Fulani man, who is causing it? The hunger, the strife, the sufferings. Is it you? Or Awusa man? Or Yoruba man? The time Obasanjo was in power, did all the Yorubas become millionaires? Did he favor the Yoruba people? We have to look beyond where you are coming from. To look whether the thing you want to give will benefit everybody. We make our schools be functional so that our students will go to school. We'll be able to pay the salaries of the lecturers so that there will be no strike. We revitalize the economy, revive the industries, electricity and power will be there. Because when the power is on, whether you are Fulani or you are Yoruba or you are Igbo, you will benefit. When the schools are functional, I have not known any university that you will go in, you saw Igbos there or the Yorubas there. And that was, we must drum this thing into the oblongata of our people. That these people who come up to say, because I'm an Igbo man, you must vote me in. What have you done for me? I do not know of any state where another tribe is governing. Abia State is governed by Igbo man. And Abia, Enugu the same, Anambra the same, Kaduna the same. It is their people from their states. Have those people governing turned their state into a wonderland? Have the governors made even their village that if you go into their village you can't see a poor man, so that you will say, except you are my brother, I cannot vote you? No. We will advise those who want to govern us. Come out. Tell us who you are. Don't tell us the other man didn't get it. No. Tell us, if you go there, why will you be better than him? If you continue to say, hey, the other man, he's from so tribe, he cannot be there again because he didn't get it well. How didn't he get it well? What will you do when you come in to do it better than him? That is what we want to listen.
Okay, thank you very much. At this point, we are going to take a break, and when we come back, issues of the moment continues. Today, we are taking a look at 2023 general elections and political campaigns. Stay tuned. Back to the program. You are still watching Issues of the Moment. Like I said earlier before we went on that short break, today our conversation is centered on 2023 elections and political campaigns. At this point, we are going to open our telephone line so that you can be part of this interesting discussion. You can reach us on 09168284994. I am going to take it again. 09168284994. Now, Professor Jade have been watching Peter Obi going around the world and even every part of Nigeria, telling them what he's going to do and how he intends to do it. I'm not a card-carrying member of Labour Party, and I'm not expected to do that because of my vocation. Don't you think that there is something we can learn from what Peter Obi is doing?
Yes.
Peter Obi has not attacked any of his opponents.
Yes, I think Peter Obi is only telling us what it takes to be a true Nigerian. Because across the nation, the other time, in fact, what happened, the crowd we saw when they held the rally here cannot be compared to what happened in Jos. It was a mammoth crowd. It was so big, yet Peter Obi was not there. Peter Obi is not a northerner. He's here. But his idea, they say idea rules the world. It's not about the person. So because of his idea, a lot of people who are enlightened, even those who are not, listen to those who are enlightened, those who are educated, to interpret what he says at any given time. Amongst all the governors in the service, if not throughout the nation, I think he is the only person who left office without owing and leaving a huge amount of money in the coffers of the state. Outside his infrastructural development. I don't think there is any governor who can raise his hand and say yes, and beat his chest and say, I did well. In our country here, the chairman of a local government, after being a chairman, becomes richer than the local government. The governor becomes richer than the state he governed. And then will leave that state so indebted to the suffering of whosoever that is going to take over him. But in the case of Peter B, as he narrates his ordeals, he will also give examples and ask you to go and ask. Go to the bank, he mentioned the banks and so on, where he left so and so amount of money. And most youths have taken their time to verify these facts and discover that this man is not just praising himself, but is making a statement of fact. And I think that is what Nigerians want. Like I said earlier, there is no person coming out. In fact, the three major political parties who are contesting now, the individuals, those who are contesting in these three major political parties, they've held one public office or the other. Come out openly and tell us that what we are suffering today, outside the one inflicted by the present administration, the past administration also contributed to it. So this is what this man is doing. Trying to let the people know, I am going to be different from what you are expecting. I am a Nigerian. I have studied what goes on here. I had a state. I was a governor of a state. And within the period I governed, look at this. Peter Obi is the only governor who during his tenure reduced the number of entourage and vehicles. And he was asked why. He said, because those people following will be wasting the resources of the state. He is the only person who you tell him you are your group, you are coming to visit the government house. He will tell you the government house is not a restaurant. It's not a hotel. So when the discussion is supposed to be between you and him, why coming with a crowd? And a lot of them hated him because of that. But those of them who hated him have now realized what he meant, how good, what he meant for the state, his state, Anambra State. So that is what we are talking about. When Semo talked about antecedents, and then I talked about your pedigree. Who are you? Where are you coming from? And then it takes I keep saying this, it takes a copious knowledge of the past to shape the future. If you don't know anything about the past, it will be very difficult to be stable with the future. It will be very difficult also to be stable with even the present. So I think this guy has taken his time to know what Nigerian, not just that he's younger than all these other people, himself and his deputy, not just that he's younger, but because he is also intelligent and he knows what he wants. In fact, I'm beginning to think, if you look at the line of discussion of these other contestants with him, they are now beginning to borrow a leaf from him. They are now beginning to borrow some of the things, some of the ideas he's given. For somebody to come out openly to say, now, I'll fight security, which nobody has been mentioning, they will always tell you, I will do better, I'll bring Nigeria out from. You don't mention out from where. But he will tell you point blank that these are the problems we have, and this is how I'm going to handle it. And because he has done his empirical research and know that this is the problem this my country is facing, and this is how I am going to handle it, that is why he's everywhere. I am not a political party person. I'm not a member of Labour Party. In fact, it is only Obi even that is making the Labour Party a more national party this time, unlike before. In Abia State, the Labour Party, even after election, you don't hear the name of their candidates, Guba and so on. But Labour Party has been there, But because a man who knows his onions is there, Labour Party now is becoming a party to reckon with.
Yes.
In as much as I am not standing in for B or for what, but we are now comparing and contrasting, and what Nigeria wants. The youths are fed up. Nigeria is the giant of Africa. You, Mr. Moderator, you will agree with me that some years, Ghanaians were here, scattered all over, doing all sorts of menial jobs, cobblers and so on, fetching water for us. You remember the South African apartheid and so on. But today, Nigerians go to Ghana to look for greener pasture. And what kind of country are we talking about? We're only giant of Africa now, giant of corruption. This country is so blessed with a lot of resources. God so much blessed this country. Maybe because of the Hebrews that are part of here, the Hebrews. Now God so blessed this country, and what do we see? A governor will leave the office with trillions of naira, and without thinking, how are you going to manage this? They don't care. They don't want their children to work again, and people are suffering and dying on a daily basis, and our money are overseas. Until today, we are still talking about Abacha's loot. What kind of country is this? And it doesn't really matter what you do. The most important thing is, were you able to make the money? And you'll be given a chieftaincy title anywhere you go. Nobody cares about morals anymore. That is not what Nigeria wants again this time. We want a man. How can a governor of a state, he has only a wristwatch and one, and you go everywhere, it's true, it's one wristwatch, 2 or 3 pairs of shoes, when most of the governors, every dress must go with a shoe, and so on. And the shoe we are talking about, some of them will put up this I have forgotten district, 20 years, 18 years. I visited a politician who gave me a bottle of it. He said, "You don't know what you have there." I said, "No." He said, "That thing is 450,000 naira, a bottle of drink."
When you're hungry.
When I was just looking for 50,000 to go home and take care of 450,000, and they will not give it to you. It is that drink. So that is why this country is so blessed, and we don't want to continue this way. We want a man that will harness the resources of this country and make Nigeria great again. That is what we are looking for.
Do you even know that these people who say vote for my party, that the moment after the election, the parties are not even taken care of?
Yes.
These people you vote for, from the chairman of the local government up to the president, don't go to the party secretariat. Don't visit the party. Don't even pay them the stipend they are supposed to. So you talk about party. They don't even take care of the vehicle that convey them to the offices. If you talk about Labour Party, I will tell you that I have not heard Peter B talk about party. It is party that a vehicle that conveys him. He's talking about what he will do. Look at me and vote for me. We want all these candidates to tell us whom they are. It's like one of the House of Rep members in Aba, Ebisike. If you look at Ebisike, he comes out to look at the people of his constituency.
Their problems.
Their problems. And they solve the problems they have. It does not matter. When his successor, what was he?
The Afghan man.
Of the Afghan man.
The Afghan man.
The same. In fact, if that man had a brother who was in politics or like him, Aba people wouldn't have minded voting for him. People were so afraid that can Aba people have somebody that will perform like OC Prestige, not minding the party.
Who started Orata?
Nigerians should not, if you are a voter, don't mind the party. Don't mind where that person comes from. Mind what he can do. And how you will know what he can do is by looking at what he has done. No matter how small. If he is trustworthy in a very small thing, give him that big thing. He will be very trustworthy in it. We are not interested what party the person is, especially when it comes to the office of the president and the office of the governor of the state. We are not caring where you come from. We don't care whom you are, what party you come from. We care whom you had been, whom you are. That will make us have a glimpse of where you will take us to. Nigerians have suffered. There is hunger all over the place.
Insecurity.
There is insecurity. You can't sleep with your two eyes up or closed. The youths are suffering. The only workshop the youths have now is their handset, where they can build a WhatsApp platform and they exhibit what they can do. None of them have enough to rent a shop. Studying a trade now is now being seen as wasting one's time. The highest they can do is to mount on keke or okada and begin to ride them. A university graduate, even those in school, cannot finish 8 months. They are on strike because even the professors who helped to rig the election, after rigging the election, because every of the returning officers are professors, lecturers from university. They rig the election and put somebody who is not capable. Look at the pensioners. When we are in the office, we are supposed to make sure that the pension of those who have retired are paid to them. You forgot that one day you will retire and become a pensioner. You refuse to pay them.
That's why they save their money overseas now.
The thing keeps mounting. You will come out and begin to cry. My brother, let everybody who has his PVC on that day of the election ask yourself, why am I in the position that I am today? If this person I am voting for, do I know him? Has he the capacity to take us back to the Nigeria we want? Take us to the Nigeria of our dream. Make us revive Nigeria the way we were, or to a better Nigeria? If the answer is no, that the only reason why you should vote for him is because he's your party person.
The same party.
The only reason is because he is from your place. The only reason is because he has given you some money. Please, God will punish you if you go back to ask God. Please, in this country, I'm looking for job. Oh, he will call Angel Gabriel. Because every prayer we say on earth constitutes a loud knock at the door of heaven. When you knock, he will send Angel Gabriel and say, see who is at the door. He will come back and say, oh God, that person needs job.
He needs job.
He says he has degree. He has been going about looking for job. He has not seen. Say, why? Say, because the economy is bad. It's okay, they are going for an election. Give him the opportunity to vote for a man who we will use to revise the economy. You get on that day. God has ministered to you. We have said all these things you are saying. You still go to vote for man because he is from your place. You don't look at his age. You don't look at his health status. You don't look at his capacity. You don't look at his capability. You begin to look at how much he has given to you. You are beginning to look at the party he is coming from. You begin to look at where he is coming from. Soon after, you will go back to pray. And the knock will sound again at the door of heaven. God will politely ask Angel Gabriel, go and see who is at the door. I say, it's Ozemso. What happened? I say, oh God, that man didn't vote for the man we sent to. I beg you, add to his punishment. They will add to your punishment. The only time Nigerians have the right and the chance and the opportunity to revive this country and move this country forward is on the election 2023.
Thank you very much, Moses Ogbonna. Now, Professor Adele, Nigeria was 62 last Saturday, precisely 1st October 2022. Now, after 62 years of nationhood, we are still talking about constant power supply, electricity, and good road. Is that a sign of progress?
Well, I remember one lecture I delivered with the veteran broadcasters in Imo State. That was about 5 or 6 years ago. Even then, I talked about Nigeria remaining underdeveloped and what is the major cause. Like I mentioned earlier, it is quite unfortunate. Even in this station, we had some discussants who mentioned, I was talking about celebrating the Independence Day. They said there's nothing to celebrate. We're only going to mark the number of years, just to make sure we thank God that Nigeria is 62. And those of them who were born then are still alive. That is marking the date. There is nothing to celebrate. I'm telling you, there was something some more said, and even concurred by saying 99%. A lot of people, they have a way. A lot of people are going through sea, suffering through desert to leave this country. See, there is a saying in my place, as an Anglo man, the translation is that there is no man who lives well on this planet Earth that want to talk about reincarnation. It is only when you don't live well. It is only when you don't live well, you will now want to think about the next world. Those who are living well here wouldn't want this world to end. So if you look at it, that is the position of this country. Nigeria is 62. So what are we celebrating? We should be celebrating giant and robust corruption.
It is because of the way we live now that people begin to sing about more than after all, he's a stranger here. He will soon.
If you enjoy very well, you won't want Christ to come. But everybody is talking about the second coming of Christ. And this is a man who said he's coming for more than 2,000 years. He has not come. But it is now that people the consciousness is back again now. Even the churches are asking Christ to come.
Is blasphemy.
Yeah?
Is blasphemy.
No, there is nothing like blasphemy. I'm telling you, because of the type of leadership we have here, that is why people want Christ to come. If you're living well, you'll be asking yourself, what I'm enjoying here and what I'm enjoying there, which one will be better? You may say, Christ, please wait a little. But now, everybody wants Christ to come because of what we are passing through. The people those who started before now are now asking us to keep trying. It's unfair. And you're saying it's 62. It's not as if we don't have what it takes to take care of this country. Do you know, if you look at the numerical strength of this country and how much that is budgeted a day, think about it. The federal budget at the point was in millions, from millions to billions, billions to trillions. Has it changed anything? It has changed nothing. Look at our educational system. We're on strike. Look at power, the power sector. What's happening?
Epileptic.
So epileptic. So what are we celebrating at 62? Look at employment. Even if we talk about the states, look at in Abia State alone here, how many industries, companies are moribund? How many of them? International Equitable,
because of power.
the textile mill, about textile mill. Look at the Nyimba Hotel here, Mbakwe, there. And a governor that almost governed 3 states and one. And in all these 3 states, Ebonyi, Abia, and the Old Imo, you must see a footprint of Mbakwe. Where are those type of leaders today? Every person is interested in looting. The truth is that we have selfish, greedy, egocentric leaders. We don't have selfless leaders. We don't have people who want to be Nigerians. We want people who want to be self. And I think that is why it looks as if the Obi movement is a mass movement. So I think at 62, we should cry for ourselves. We should weep for ourselves. At 62, at a point, we were almost out of Egypt. But right now, we are at the center of Egypt. The Red Sea is before us. We're only praying that something happens before all of us will get drowned. But we are thinking, praying, believing God for a Moses who would divide the Red Sea.
Is this
with my stick?
Is this the Moses you're talking about?
My rod and my staff.
This Moses is an individual. He may be related. You know his name is in plural. You can't call him Moses. It's Moses.
Even when you say most, there is plural.
Okay, gentlemen, my director is telling me that we are racing against the clock, that we are gradually coming to the end of today's edition of Issues of the Moment. But before we throw the curtain, Moses Obunna, how do we hold our leaders accountable after the election? I want you to be brief.
We will hold them accountable if we make
after so much promises.
If we make the right choice. If you vote for a leader whom you, at the time you were voting, were not influenced by any gratification. You are not influenced by the tribe. You are not influenced by the party. You are influenced by what you see in him, the capacity. If he does not deliver, we will hold him responsible, because there is always a second term. But if we make the mistake to vote somebody because of his tribe, his party,
or his money,
in fact, God will hold us responsible.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, Professor Adiele, I want you to talk to our people, and I want you to be brief. Talk to them about politicians who make bogus promises, empty promises, as we approach another election year.
Yes, my dear people, first and foremost, I want us to look at a leader who understands the principles of democracy, government of the people, by the people, and for the people, not government of a political party, by a few sycophants and their elites. That is not what we are talking about. We are talking about a person who will understand the yearnings of the people, who has seen what Nigerians are passing through. We have enough here. Enough to even help make another country better from the proceeds of Nigeria. Some other countries are getting better while we are here dying. So we want a leader who is a Nigerian. When I mean a Nigerian, I mean a true Nigerian. I am an Angwa man. But if I don't understand the tenets of being an Angwa man, if I don't understand what it takes to be an Angwa man, the tradition, the culture of an Angwa man, I am an Angwa man in diaspora. We want a Nigerian who will understand the yearnings of the people. We should be careful with the type of persons we vote. Empty vessels, they say, they make the most noise. When people stand and tell you how they are going to water, fire, house you, and road you, please, without substantiating it, don't vote for such people. Let us vote for people that knows the road and has the road map with them.
Thank you, Professor Dele. And with that invaluable advice, we have come to the end of our program today. We have our conversation has been 2023 elections and political campaigns. I want to thank Moses Obunna and Professor Chinedu Madele for coming to Living TV to talk to us on this important issue. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator.
And my name is Chimezia Ozems. I want to thank you for investing your time in watching today's edition of Issues of the Moment. Join us tomorrow by 11 a.m. for Nigeria Today. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.
Oh yeah. I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Many years after independence, we still find it hard to start. How long shall we be patient before we reach the promised land? Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way? Which way Nigeria? Tell me which way to go. I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Yes, I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Every little thing that goes wrong, we start to blame the government. We know everything that goes wrong because we are part of the government. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Tell me which way to go. Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Inefficiency and indiscipline is ruining the country now. Corruption here, there, and everywhere. Inflation is soaring high. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh sure, sure. I want to know. Yes, I want to know. Which way Nigeria is heading to. We made mistakes during the oil boom, not knowing that was our doom. Some people now have everything, while many, many have nothing. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't fall. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Yes, I want to know. Which way Nigeria is heading to. Green revolution is a reality. Let's give it a chance to grow. Let's join our hands to farm the land so we can have enough food to show. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh sure. I want to know. Yes, I want to know. Which way Nigeria is heading to. Our ambition to be millionaires is running the country down. We all want to be millionaires and to live in the air. Oh, let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Yes, we want to know. Which way Nigeria is heading to. Remember that a simple step is the beginning of a million miles. Let's start right now to repeat ourselves so as to make the country smile. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Heaven and earth will pass away. It is written in the book of God. The good people will surely find their ways, and the meek will inherit the world. Let's save